Hello everyone, and I'm here with Disha Walia, and like she said that she likes losing herself, the solace of words, and Disha is a student by the day and a writer by night. But there is something more that I'd like to learn about you, Disha. Can you please introduce yourself?
Uh, Hi, thank you so much for having. Um, like you said, I am a student by day and a writer by night. Basically, I enjoy reading so much that I picked up a study that would not just allow me to read, but to write. And that is what I chose for my master's degree. And I started doing my master's in English.
Okay, then we have a little bit of similarity here. I have also completed my master's in English literature.
That is
So yeah, we are kind of lovers of English literature, and that reflects in your writing. So can you tell me which position and your achievement in Monomasumi platform?
I came third, and this was like my first essay writing competition, and I came third.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. It's lovely talking to you. Okay, so how did you get to know about Monomasumi?
Basically, I could love narrating story, and that's what I always stick to fiction writing. But I had a lot of free time on my hand, and I started to think if I should go ahead and pursue non-fiction writing as well. So I was searching up places I could write, essay competitions and such, and this website told me about your website and how prestigious it is, and that everyone from beginner to advanced level should actually go in and try once. So I just checked it up, and I saw that it is a really transparent and competition, and it honors equality. So I thought, why not? And I'm really glad that I actually did it.
Did
So
thanks for that. And now let's say that you were into fictional writing. So definitely an author or somebody must have inspired you to write fiction. So any author that you like prefer and why?
well, it would be very hard for me to choose just one. But if I have to, I'd say Jane Austen, because she has this way of writing, this command over the language, and not just that, she brings domesticities, like little domesticities, and it really shows that she has this great understanding of human beings, and then she makes it universal. Like, we don't have to have lots of elements, otherworldly elements, if I could say that, into the books that she wrote. And she's like amazing with that, and that really drew me in and inspired me.
One thing more, I found another connection with you, and that's also Jane Austen. I absolutely adore her and wrote a like kind of a project on her because people think that the Asian people don't value classical literature, but we kind of like adore Jane Austen for the fact that she was a writer, female writer. Still, she like came to the fore and she did a wonderful job, and like her novels are still very, very famous. So great to know that you chose Jane, all the authors. Okay, so what inspired you to write? There's definitely someone behind or some inspiration behind us who pushes us or like makes us think and write something. So, who is your inspiration behind?
Basically, that regardless of what genre it is, if it is fiction, non-fiction, it doesn't matter. Everything has a story to tell. So I draw my inspiration from lots of books. Like I said, Jane Austen is one of the most inspiring person for me. I also draw my inspiration from movies and music, everything that has a story to tell, I would say that has inspired me a lot to write. And I just love, I had this passion since I was a kid, but that was just for my family's eyes. But as I grew up and this turned into a bigger passion, I really wanted to share it with people. So that is why I started writing. And it's just the stories around the world that inspire me.
Right. So, many people think that writing can be a bit boring, or it can be like very monotonous in work. So, what do you think? For you, writing, does it energizes you, or does it bore you at some point of time?
Well, it has never bored me. I always, like I said, love narrating stories ever since I was a child. It has never bored me. And I really love that, for me, characters are like friends. Or anything that I write about, they're like friends. Words are my friends. That's what I believe in. It has never bored me. It
Okay.
energizes me.
So, let me ask you, if I give you options, I give you five choices as to if you will give a recommendation, a book recommendation to someone. So you can pick five books that you think that people should read.
Uh, Five books. All right. I mean, they can be fiction as well, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
definitely anything that you think that people should read.
I think that makes it very easy because I have a lot of books. I would say, first and foremost, I love, absolutely love Pride and Prejudice, Emma. I love the Hunger Games series. I love the Harry Potter series. And I think Sense and Sensibility should be there.
Okay, it's like Harry Potter is my go-to book, and seriously, I'm finding real good connection with you. Like it's like if somebody would have asked me, I would have like things. So now, ask you, does any research go behind your writings, especially an article writing? Do you research before you write?
Uh, Research is another passion of mine. Whenever I write, I need to like this is like me that I need to know the front and the back of everything. And I love researching. Like if something catches my attention, I love researching. And yes, it is a really big part of writing, I think.
Okay, great. Yeah, definitely. I agree with that also, that research is needed, because if you don't research, you don't get opinions that much. And if you don't get opinions, then how will you form your writings? So, research is important and good that you do that. In which month did you wrote for Monomasumi?
I wrote in October, and
Okay,
I'm so glad I also wrote in November. But yeah,
yeah, so you won the October competition, right?
third. That was my first time writing, and I came third.
Okay, can you tell what was the topic of the essay, and what you the first thought that came into your mind that when you were writing that essay?
Well, we had to write about an unsung hero, and I wrote about this webtoon artist. He goes by the name Snail Lots, and like that was the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like a huge fan of his, and as soon as I read the topic, I was like, you know what, I have to write this because this person, this he's such an inspirational person, and I would have he really, not many people know about his story. It is a really touching story of his, and not many people know it. So I think that is the perfect thing you can say is the topic wanted us to write about. So yeah, that's how I came up with it.
So you got an opportunity in the form of a competition, and you really nailed it. Good for you. Okay. Next thing is, does like does writing surprise you sometimes? Anything that you have found in your researches that has surprised you, like you did not know it existed, and suddenly while researching you came with up with something like, oh, this also exists.
And yeah, definitely. I'm always open to learning new things, and whenever something like that comes up, it really I have to take a step back and I have to think, wow, like this exists. So yeah, that has happened a lot of times.
Okay. Now, people talk like younger generations are like going away from reading books, and the publications of books are getting like dwindling down. So, what do you prefer, reading an e-book or audio book or a hard-bound copy of a book? What would you prefer?
Always a hardbound copy. I love, feeling the pages on my fingers. I love that.
Right.
But
I'll add to that. I love the smell of the book as well. Right. So, I'll ask you a thoughtful question now. What does success mean to you?
well, um, success, I would say, in terms of writing, when someone appreciates it, it doesn't have to be like a million people appreciating it. If one person reads it and can actually find something in it, that I would say I have been successful with what I was trying to do.
Okay. So, I do you have any tips for people who enter the world of creative writing? Because people get inspired from the people who are doing it on a regular basis. So, do you have any tips for them?
Well, I would say they should keep writing. They should, really if enjoy it, write about something they're passionate about, and keep doing it because eventually they'll find a voice of their own, and then they can stick to it.
Right, absolutely correct. I really agree with that. So, if I'll ask you another thing, what's your opinion about reading? Do you more we read, it's equivalent to our writing getting better? Is it what you think?
Well, to some extent. I mean, definitely you do, get how words are written, how vocabulary is used, the sentence structure, and everything like that. But just because you're going to read does not necessarily mean you can write better after a point. Like, if I read 1,000 books a day and I've never written a word in my life, and then I suddenly go and think I would be able to write, you know, like Jane Austen, that's not going to happen. But yeah, to some extent it does happen, but everyone has their own caliber, so it might work for someone else.
Right, definitely. Everyone has their own potential to explore. So, if they do get benefited by reading, that does not mean that they just can read and don't write anything. So, okay. Lastly, I'd like to want you to give a message to the future contestants and participants that you'd like to share something with them.
Well, I would like to say that you have come to a wonderful place, truly, because you would not find a place which is more, believes in equality. Everyone has a fair chance, and you will find topics that would like resonate with you, and it would be a wonderful experience. It has been for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Disha. And it was lovely talking to you. And I hope people do listen to your words and they do get inspired and they get the passion to write more and read more. Thank you for joining me today. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely talking to you too.